Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Time for our first bit of Power Rangers Toy Fair news. Now, Toy Fair officially begins tomorrow, but we got some pre-Toy Fair news. A lot of stuff Toy Fair related rolls out a little bit early, you know, with previews and stuff, and they do some like press release images. So we got an early look at some of the Beast Morphers stuff, some new stuff, some stuff they've re-gone over. That's a technical term. But let's start with the new stuff right away. One of the first things I saw is we are going to be getting more MMPR merchandise. Huge plot twist, never would have expected this. They haven't brought anything MMPR out in, how long has it been? Less than a millisecond? I don't know. God, it's been so long. These weird flippable figures. They're basically flippables or automorphs, but they're called something else like Morphin Head Lads. I don't remember the name. Like, it'll be somewhere in the description or somewhere, but they call it something different because presumably they don't want to call it Automorphins, just like they're not calling the Lightning Collection the Legacy Collection for confusion and maybe copyright reasons. I don't know why I'm going on along about this, but they're these large-scale MMPR figures that have the flip head gimmick. And so far, as of this recording, we've seen Jason, Trini, and Billy, and they have like weird armor that's almost reminiscent of, at least here, almost reminiscent of the movie, and then they have like little shoulder pads. I don't know why, I don't know what that means. Some people have wild speculation of like, oh, they're gonna do something more with MMPR, so maybe, it's very possible. You know, I don't want to rule anything out, I don't want to say anything definitive here and then tomorrow get lawyered. I want to at least wait for that till Sunday, but so, they look a little bit different. We don't know why that is. It could just be a toy design choice. It's certainly not unheard of for Power Rangers toys or any other toys to have aspects of the toys that nothing to do with anything show related or anything like that. But it is interesting that they look reminiscent to the movie and they are a bit different than usual. And you know, also it could mean, I mean, obviously they just love to do MMPR merchandise, so it could mean nothing. But it very well could be because of the Dino team up coming up, so maybe they're pushing up a little bit stuff. I might mention something about that a couple times over the weekend. But so we have those. We don't have pictures of this yet as of this recording. It's very possible we could get pictures by the time this is already recorded, but you will see pictures at some point, I assume. But it's going to be some sort of new combining version of the Dino Megazord. So again, pretty rare. This is only our 13,000th version of the Dino Megazord, but they released differently. It comes with just like T-Rex and then a 2-pack of the other two, and then they all combined. So we don't know what this looks like, whether it's more play school-y, like it's not in the Play School Heroes line, but whether it's a little bit cheaper looking, or if it's meant to be collector driven, or something in the middle. All we know is that they're Zords and they combine. We don't know what they're gonna look like. Are they stylized? Are they accurate? It seems sort of similar to those individual Legacy releases we did with Bandai, where we got like 3 of the individual Dinozords, but they didn't combine, but these ones will, so I don't know. The point is, more MMPR stuff. And then, oh yeah, there's also those like weird 9-inch figures that I feel like we actually saw quite some time ago. Somebody somewhere found a picture of one of these a long time ago. I feel like I remember it, unless the timeline changed, but those are happening too from MMPR. They look weird. It's like if the MMPR designs were mashed with the original Sonic movie design. Like, they're weird, but those are happening too. But so on to Beast Morphers stuff. As far as new stuff that was expected, we have a deluxe Nerf version of that new Beast X King bow thingy. There's like press shots with like this kid and stuff, and so that toy that we've seen, originally we saw in just the figures. The figures kind of, quote-unquote, spoiled these new weapons we're going to be getting, because we had all these new weapons within the figures. But they're going to be in the show, because we've seen it in the opening, that the bow is going to be there. So that one is going to be a Nerf release, which I don't really mind, because I thought, even though the Cheetah Blaster was a Nerf blaster, it looked good. And from the one picture we've seen of this, it looks good. My problem is that, like, okay, the Nerf's fine, and you have this one that looks decent, and then the Cheetah Blaster that look good, but then you do the Gold Ranger Morpher that looks poopy. I'm still bitter about that, but so that's going to be a Nerf one. Then we have a version of that new Spin Saber as well, that based on the Lion, well, as well, I said as well like a bazillion times there. But so we are getting an official deluxe version of that. As of this recording, as far as I remember, we haven't seen that in the show. I mean, season 2 hasn't happened yet, it's happening tomorrow, but what I mean is like from the trailers and stuff, but we are getting a toy version of that. And then I think the only other real new thing is the Beast X King Ultrazord toy, in the same vein as that Ultrazord toy we got in the original first season line, which it's not the combinable big Amazon set, it's the altogether one-piece one that has, like, you know, lights and sounds when you move it around, except this is for the Beast X King one, so that was kind of to be expected. And then everything else, like, they have this first press release document of like 2020 releases, and I'm sure this isn't all we'll see at Toy Fair, but other than all the things I just mentioned, everything else is stuff we've already seen. Like the Nutcracker figures, the new Nutcracker figures, which I've already covered. I think they mentioned the new figures. If they didn't, obviously we already know those are out. The BeastBot 2-packs, which I've also already covered. Those have been in stores for a while. The individual Wrecker-Zord figure, the like all-together figure that doesn't transform, also already covered that. I saw that like before Christmas. The Beast X Morpher, basically like all the stuff that's been trickling out so far. Oddly enough, as of right now, unless I glossed over it, there's been no mention of the deluxe Beast X King Zord, but I assume that's happening because, funnily enough, again, as of this recording, who knows what we could see tomorrow, but it's funny that like the only real new thing they have in Season 2 outside of the armor is the lion, and they're really making use of that. They're making like lion everything. So real quick cut in here, right when I was editing this video, some more little tidbits of news came out, mainly just a real quick first look at physical pictures of the Wave 5 Lightning Collection figures. We've known what these are for a while because, you know, we found the listings on Walmart. And guess where the pictures came from? Cloud9. No, Walmart. So they're just little mini pictures of Wave 5. You know, you have Zeo Gold, which we already knew they were doing a re-release of for this one. We don't know whose head it comes with yet, but we have an image, but we already know what he looks like. MMPR Blue, which looks fine, if not a little weird. It might just be the image proportions. Time Force Red, which looks solid. And then the most exciting one, I think, Ranger Slayer. I'm not a huge Ranger Slayer fan, but I like the design, and I love getting comic figures instead of just always show stuff, so they all look solid. I'm sure we'll see more detailed images of them, press shots, and physical photos throughout the weekend, and possibly some sneak peeks at more waves that they'll probably tell us will be out, you know, next year in the fall, only for us to find them in our back pocket. So back to the regular video. So yeah, nothing too spectacular so far, kind of expected stuff. I'm glad to see large-scale weapons of the new original weapons. The MMPR stuff's here nor there, it's just like, it's kind of par for the course at this point. I think they look a little bit weird, like they have these giant hinges to do the morph gimmick. It reminds me back when they re-released the Automorphin figures, and I did the reviews and I talked about how I was disappointed they just did repackages because I was interested to see what, you know, modern toys could do for that flip gimmick since we've come so far, and this looks even less practical, so I don't know. And it's very well could be because they're trying to amp up stuff for the Dino team up, but also it's just their Zomg MMPR mandate. But like I said, Toy Fair is only just begun because it hasn't even begun yet. It starts tomorrow, and I will keep you guys posted as always throughout the weekend as we get news and stuff like that. But what do you guys think so far of what we've seen? What are you excited to see for Toy Fair? What do you hope to see? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for all my videos. Till next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.